Hey everyone, this is the second video of the night. I just want to start and show you the customs that I'm currently working on. I've deliberately got this mid-mill casting to kind of show you what it originally looks like. This casting came out a couple years ago, and it's pretty good casting. The front engine looks to be a little bit out of scale, or actually the mid-engine. But I just wanted to show it to you. I'm a big fan of the 32, actually the the early model Fords from like 29, even the T-Buckets. But let's first show you this this other car. So there was the quarter-mile coupe, and it was pretty cool casting. It's got a nice engine. And then they also had a truck called Screamin' Holler. And that was pretty cool because it had a set of fenders on the front. Well, I decided to put those fenders on the rear of the quarter-mile coupe, and I'm doing this because the bad boy rolls. And I was able to marry up the body of the quarter-mile coupe to the fenders of the Screamin' Holler, and it's got a little swoop back look. This is pretty much roughed in. Take the body off. I've got these holes drilled because what's going to happen is I'm going to create a set of doors, and I'm going to try to hinge them so that they open on this angle and open out like butterfly doors, not scissor doors or anything else like that, but butterfly that swing backwards. So took off the engine. The current engine that's on here now is actually from a Mattel casting with the from Toy Story, where they made the Pixar's as vehicles. So it's pretty much the quarter-mile casting base. I had to do some thinning there on the back wheels. I had bigger tires that were originally on here, but these are going to work. So I'll end up putting spacers here to kind of keep it from floating in and out. I found a nice set of salt flat wheels. So that's the engine. It's pretty much in place there. I'm going to be marrying this car with the front fenders from, you have to use your imagination here, from the Custom Cadillac, which is a new casting that came out this year. So these are the front fenders. Basically, if Batman had a hot rod, it would be this car. And this is pretty much how it's going to look side by side. So this will all come together. But basically, married the fenders. I created, just using an L bracket here, a stop so that the body will rest on the chassis like that. I will be doing a more detailed interior, likely using the interior from the Custom Cadillac. So if you can see this is the seats. I've done a little treatment on the seats to see if I can't get a different effect. It's a chrome casting, but that's that. And I will be using the front grille from that car as well. So that's one. This is basically Batman's hot rod. The second one, I want to put this up here and show you the twin mill. And I also want to show you the 32 Ford for the grille. That's pretty much it. So hot rods need tow trucks, and I created, using the ratified casting from Hot Wheels, it's a little rat rod looking hot rod, a rat rod tow truck, and it rolls. The engine is from one of the Adult Collectibles engine. It's a super detailed, blown, probably a Chevy engine. It's a big block 454 with a supercharger on it. Great plastic casting of the engine. So I've got the hoses that connect both to the top and the bottom of the radiator. I did do some custom carburetors to give it some additional details. So these carburetors are made out of aluminum tubing with a, there's no way you're going to see this detail, but it's basically red. The grill is from this 32 Ford. The water tank is salvaged from the mid-mill. This body is what's used. I cut off the engine and routed out the doors, and I was able to find a siren and mount that on there. The tow mechanism is scratch built. It's got a photo etched rear here. There's a lot of this detail you're just not going to be able to see, but it's a custom built rear toe, including the flap. I probably need to do a better job of that, but that's actually a technique using electrical tape. Got an air horn from a hobby shop. It's basically a train horn, but it looked like it belonged there. And the ratified chassis, you'll recognize the tanks, these little side tanks or whatever they were used on the ratified chassis. I'll show it to you from the top. You can probably see it better. Basically, I just like the way those looked. And to seat the engine, basically, you can see hints of it. I routed out all of the interior, put a cross member here, and there's going to be some additional details. This is the screw from the 32 Ford casting that I pulled it from. Custom floorboard, and let's just show you the interior because I'm going to be putting hinged doors on here. The center driveline hump is there. The stick shift is basically, for this I actually used a push pin because I crafted a skull, basically high-rise shifter. The seats are from another casting, and I put mock leather pads in there. Rat rod is basically just something you throw together. Steering wheel and dash are from spare cars that I had. I want to say all of this is from spare Hot Wheel parts. And just cool stuff. So I'll show you also the doors I've cut from another car. This is what it starts as, and once I start grinding away at it, we end up with this very fine piece here. I think it's going to be too detailed to leave this top piece on. See if I can't put something behind it to kind of show you a little bit more of the detail, but I may just cut it off right there and do a suicide door on that. To get the siren and the horn attached to the body, I did use some body filler in the back because this hood scoop actually hooks into the body. So it's a metal hood scoop that serves as the post and attaches to the body. So I had to get rid of that. But basically on the bottom, all I did, and you can actually see through this a little bit, the red center, I basically just found center on the interior and did a tiny vise drill, and just until I penetrated it, made it the diameter of the siren and plopped it in. For the horn, I basically just picked a spot and started drilling slowly. You want to start from the bottom. Once you make penetration, it's going to be a tiny hole. You want to drill very slowly. Use a pin vise, don't use a Dremel. Drill very slowly, and then from the top you can use an X-Acto blade and just slowly work it around in circles till it's the size that you want. Stick it in, and oftentimes you don't even need glue, but I would recommend glue. So that's the customs that I'm working on right now. This is one of my favorite jobs that I've worked on. I'm going to be taking the grill off and actually doing additional details, but basically everything seemed like it belonged. So hope you enjoy, and have a good night.